All right, so today we're going to be working on nonfiction texts. And the text we're going to start reading is about space. And so that being said, we're going to start off with a video about space. And this is a video that we've seen before. I want you to pay close attention to some of the details. And ask questions in your mind like good readers do. Uh-oh. I'm going to stop sharing that screen. Not sure what happened there. But so that was really fascinating information about the Earth and space and the Earth in relations to other planets. Right now, we're going to dive right into a book. All right, so the title of this book is Amazing Aliens, The Stellar Science of Life in Space by Zachary Woodward. And here, this is an orange level book, orange level being 5th grade for our reading. Here, what I see is an illustration right here, right? And that looks like a space saucer and someone is being sucked off. And that's a house, and I can see like spooky lights in the stars and sky. And notice how I'm using my text features to help me understand what's happening. So I know that this is going to be about aliens, probably about space as well. So I'm going to take our attention straight to page 40. And I might need to zoom in a little bit so that way we can, excuse me, I just exited out of it. Well, while we're here, this is the ARC bookshelf. And how I got here was I went into my Clever and then clicked on ARC bookshelf and then brought me here. There are lots of amazing books in here. And I'm going straight for the book that I was getting ready to read. There you are. All right, so it's Amazing Aliens. Now I'm going straight to page 40. All right, it says space is very big. So the title here, the heading here is space is very big. So I know that this is going to tell me about how big space is. I'm also using my text features here as well. I can see a bold word, light year. So I'm going to read about that and see what it says about light year. Speed of light. So the speed of light is 186, 282,000 miles per second. That's really fast. All right, so here's also giving me like information about the distance from Earth to other planets. So the distance from Earth to the moon is 1.3 light seconds. Distance from Earth to Mars, 12.7 light minutes. Distance from Earth to Alpha Centauri is 4.4 light years. And then the distance from Earth to the Milky Way, so to the far side of the Milky Way, the farther side, is 52,000 light years. And that's quite some distance right there. And I can see like all the different planets lined up here. I know this is Earth, and I can tell that's Saturn right there. So it's 8 light minutes from the Earth to the Sun, and 5.5 light hours from the Sun to Pluto. So I'm going to go ahead and read this section. Space is very big. Space is so big that it's impossible to measure its normal measurements like miles, kilometers. Instead, we need a special kind of measurement called light years. Despite its name, light year is a measure of distance and not of time. It is the distance that we travel in space in 1 year. And it is very far. In fact, the light year is over 63,000 times longer than the distance from the Sun to Earth. We already know that there are no Martians coming to Earth. It's more likely that any alien that comes to the Earth would travel from outside of our solar system. Maybe they'll come from Alpha Centauri, the star system that's nearest to the Sun, which has a planet in its habitable zone. The fastest human has ever gone in a vehicle was during the Apollo 10 trip to the moon in 1969. Astronauts returned to Earth. As the astronaut returned to Earth, they reached a speed of about 11 kilometers per second, over 24,500 miles per hour. Aliens on Alpha Centauri were able to build a rocket that could travel as fast as the Apollo 10 rocket for the entire trip to Earth. How long do you think it would take them to get here? 50 years? 100 years? 1,000 years? So it says for us to turn to the next page for the answer. And we're going to do that tomorrow. I want you thinking about that. All right. In the meantime, I'd like for us to explore the ARC bookshelf. There are different books on the ARC bookshelf that we can explore. These are books about space on different reading levels, and don't mind that it might be a reading level either lower or higher than our grade level. It's important that we can pull out information from there as well. All right, we also have the Lit Lab over here. So remember how in class we had like a bookshelf and then there were different book bins with different color levels? Here we've got pretty much the same thing, but it's all online. You can access it anytime during the day. You know, there's no limit to what you can read. And look, loads of amazing books that you can read. Interesting books as well. All right. All right, we're going to do a quick summary or a book recommendation, if you will, of the book that we just read. All right, and so this is going to be my sample. You're going to do the very same thing when you are reading today. So the title of the book that we read, let me pull it back up. I need to go back to orange. All right, so the title of the book we read, the book titles always have to be underlined. I read Amazing, and if I want to underline, I can either do it two ways. Control U or click on the underline over here as well. All right. Amazing Aliens. Now for this book recommendation, right here is a frame that you can use to guide you when you're writing your book recommendation, especially after reading your nonfiction text as well. You can use this or you can write it your own way. Just make sure that you include like the important information that have been put in parentheses. So the title of the book, the color level, the author, the main idea, the key details, and then a recommendation as well. All right, so I read Amazing Aliens, that was orange level book. And because it's A, I'm going to change that to M. Orange doesn't have to be capitalized. Orange level book by, and I'm going to write the author's name. What was his name? I need to look back. Zachary Woodard. All right. By Zachary Woodard. Right there. All right. So the chapter that we read, the main idea, this was about, let me take you right back. And we went to page 40. So it was about how big space is. All right, space is very big. So coming back here, this is about how big space is. On page, I'm going to give details about how big space is. How do I know it's that big? Hey, let me see. So see, it says space is so big that it's impossible to measure. It's using normal measurements. Instead, we use light years. And this is page 40. So I'm coming back here and I'm going to say on page, excuse me, page 40, it says that space is so big that it has to be measured in light years. Okay. And let me erase this up some. Okay. This book would appeal to, I think it would appeal to people who are fascinated by space, are fascinated by space. And why? Because, give me 1 second. Because it talks about space and other planets. It talks about the distance, how big space is. It also talks about, there are many reasons why they would like this book. It talks about the distance between from one planet to another. So I can say that as well. Because it is about the distance or how far planets are, about how far planets are from each other. I'm going to have to change the font that I'm using to write because it's too big for, and I'm going to make it smaller. There we go. And so that's my book recommendation for today. And just based on what we read. So I read, used my text features, and then I wrote about my reading as well. And that is our lesson for today on how to write a book summary using on a nonfiction text.